right, I'm somewhere near Leeds. Currently driving up to Hartlepool to collect a fruit machine that, I think it's a long story. It's a typical Facebook marketplace bullshit that goes on. So a Las Vegas 6, we all know I like a Las Vegas 6, I had one before. My old one is in retro slots in Blackpool. But there's an original which is what they call in the collector's world cut glass, where they put a new jackpot onto it. So it would have been originally on £6, and then it's had a cut glass and it's been put on a tenner, which I would imagine for a Las Vegas 6 is a relatively rare program. So I'm currently driving up there for that. I would imagine all of the Facebook marketplace dealers and traders have got involved and gone, it's worth all this, it's this, it's that, it's the other, I'll offer you this, don't sell it to anyone. And it's been there for about a month because of all of the, well, bell ends, let's just say the bell ends. I know that Ben had a conversation, because I sat in the car with Ben a couple of weeks ago, and Ben had a conversation with me about this exact machine, and he was 20 minutes away from it because he was up this way. And he was like, I messaged the woman, I made an offer. It's significantly higher than the one that she's accepted off me as well. And then she broke contact, or he broke contact, whatever happened, and it never happened for whatever reason. So he ended up not getting it. So he knows I'm going up there today because he nearly came with me. And he's like, I'll buy it off you. It's like, right, okay. Not even collected it, fixed it. The whole point of it, obviously, is to do the repair video. So potentially I'm going collecting a fruit machine that may already be sold. I'm going to do a repair video on it. Fairly confident it's a mainboard fault. Fairly confident I know what the fault is. Fairly confident I can fix it, but we will see. To the people I said, a lot of hassle. They were like, yeah, loads. They went, do you want to see inside it? Do you want to see it on? And I was like, what's the point? It don't work. And they went, nah, it does work. It does work. It's got a fault, but it does work. Great news. Right, I've got it back. You won't necessarily be able to pick up this little tiny crack in the top corner. So it's it's tiny, but there is a little tiny crack there. I'm gonna do a Steve Campbell trick and just cover it, I think. But it's not like it's all the way through the glass. It's just a tiny top corner. I assume it's probably dropped by somebody getting it up and down some stairs or something at some point, probably. Right, so first and foremost, the good bit. They've actually done that very well. Even though it's like a hooky £10. These I probably could have done better with, but they're okay. When the machine's on and running and played, you're not going to care. And then the same with that one. So whoever's done it, it's done it. It's, it's cut glass. I know that the seller had a lot of hard work off a numerous amount of people over it. I've literally got home, made a brew. It runs. It will turn on. In a second, I'm gonna plug it for you just to show you that it will come on. Right, so we're on. Obviously, door open. We can even probably shut the door if I can find the cherry for it. Yeah, there's a cherry for it. Hopefully, it will shut the door. No, it won't shut the door. Which is a bit annoying. But yeah, it will come on. That is in door open mode at the moment. And main issue with it we've got here is we've got no alpha. Now I'm hoping we can just resolve that issue. And I'm hoping it is what I think it is. A battery leak that's caused it, and I'm hoping it's repairable easy enough. But machine does come on, we'll boot up, we'll turn on, but that's where we're at the moment. I've been open for a while then, has it? It's got a warranty seal on this one. Don't know the company are, but yeah, it's got a warranty seal. Let's get into it. I've even taken this off, you can see there's been a bit of an acid leak. So there's going to be repair work to do, which is what I expected. There's nothing here that's a shock to me. To be some good news, it's actually very clean under here. Now, I'm very pleased to see a blue Vata instead of a green one. And just zoom in. Now, it has leaked, as you should be able to see. There you go. It has leaked, so that's coming off. And then we're going to give the board a bit of a clean with some IPA and just take the traces off it. But I mean, it is pretty good, really. It's not in any bad nick at all, and that acid's not spread very far. It's literally, if I show you, let me just, there you go, just show you there, just there, there's a bit of acid. Anyway, there's a bit more there, so it all needs a bit of a clean up and needs sorting out. You actually see the acid is still wet, that's leaked all over this one. So literally what I'm going to do now is going to get a bit of IPA, put a bit of IPA down on there, get some cotton buds and just get all that off and give this a little bit of a clean now. That's pretty much my next plan of action. Right, so I've just cleared the bit of excess off it. Again, I'm not necessarily the greatest at recording this sort of stuff, but I guess it's bit of maintenance. Probably won't show everything that we're doing here, but effectively what we need to do is clean up this area. So it's literally, you see how dirty these are going to come off for a bit. Need a bit more IPA. I've got more in the window, but what I need is to get rid of anything that's going to eat away at traces and give it a good clean. Also pretty confident that when I put a new battery on, it might not actually hold charge, which is a bit annoying. I'm just going to get another cotton bud. And we know that the green's got up in here a bit. We're hoping it hasn't done any lasting damage, but we're lucky, because if it was a green one, it'd be really, really bad. Now, within this area, there are traces that go to the alpha, and the alpha display, I'll try and show you. Your alpha display is here. If I'm showing you, yeah, I'm showing you now. There you go. So the alpha display is there, and the traces that go through the board are going to go all the way down into there. So what I need to do is remove all of the mask from here and see where my damage is, because there will be damage potentially. It can be caused, believe it or not, by just resistance. But I mean, I can see, I don't know if I'm showing you, there's a trace there, and I can already see it's almost, it's been chewed away. Anyway, what I'll do now is clean this up. I'll keep you with me to do all this. So really all I'm going to do now is fiberglass pencil, try and get it so you can see. I'm having to come around the camera a little bit to show you. There we go. I will bring this back to the camera in a minute when I've finished cleaning up the area. But you're going to see something, and then you're going to go, ah, right, I understand now why the alpha goes. Okay. Right, so let's just lift that up to you now. Hang on. We need to, there you go. Right, you can see it clear as day now, can't you? Because we've got daylight and we can see all the way through the board. But you can actually see where the traces are completely missing now. Now, some of those will go to the alpha. What I actually need to do now with it is lay down a bit of flux. And I need to rejoin those traces. Now, I will try and join them on top. Probably not confident enough to show you me doing it. But I'm gonna have a go at it. I will show you how I prep the tracks though before I switch the camera off. because what I also need to do as well to show you, because the naked eye can lie to you a little bit, is get the multimeter. I don't know if you'll actually see the meter, and then show you work from the trace, the end trace, to see if we get in a, well, perhaps if I'm in continuity, don't it? Hold on. I was in voltage then. It's from the stuff I was doing last night. Right, so then that's the very first trace. Don't think you can actually see. Let me just move up. Then the second trace, same again. It's only this area you're kind of bothered about. Third one. Third one not buzzing. 1, 2, 3. I don't know is the honest answer. Yeah, maybe it is buzzing. Fourth one. Tried, but it isn't buzzing properly. Next one definitely won't buzz. And the next one definitely won't buzz. There you go, that takes you kind of through them. So there's going to be at least 3 to rejoin. I mean, the easiest way I've ever found to do this is just to get a little bit of flux paste and just put it on the area. Obviously, you need to clean the flux off afterwards. There should be a bit of solder on there anyway, and then literally just basically tin the tracks again. Might have to get a bit of solder for these, and some of these traces might vanish as well because they're not the greatest, which is to be kind of expected. And then literally to avoid any traces shorting against one another, you just literally go up and down, and all flux does, it just helps for, it's like sandpaper, it's the best way of describing it, for solder. It basically just helps aid solder attaching. I'll probably take this, I think is it a cap? I don't know what it is. Whatever that is out, and give that a clean up around that area as well. And everything effectively will end up getting a bit of a clean while I'm doing it. But like I said, I don't think I'm confident enough to try and do them, and it can be a painful process. So yeah, I'm going to do that next. So if I show you now, and see my traces, yeah, and there'll be obviously a load of checking afterwards, check they've all married up nicely. But I will try and do that next, and hopefully bring you back. It's worth checking your plugs. I know it's quite dark, but the state of that one. That's the photo plug on it, an MPU4. Yeah, I can't see my reels being great. So yeah, so it's all back in. So it's where I'm at. It's very dark, but it's all back in. And then I'm going to have to give that a bit of attention now before I try and boot it. So that's where the acid had managed to get to. Together. So let's just get past Tedster. Out of the way, Tedster. Oh, well, we can see that's working. Door open. So it's just a door switch issue I've got to sort now, but we are essentially now running. So that's great news. But we have an issue. We now have boot up, as we said, we've got an alpha. Right, what we have an issue with is switches. So switches are not working at the moment. Magic says it's probably going to be a fairly easy fix. But I've got to take the MPU back out of the machine again to get it on the table to find out what's causing it. At the moment, I've got the orange and the black disconnected just to rule out anything else. This is actually currently stuck in refill mode. That is why it's stuck like that. We skipped a few stages. So I've literally gone outside to look for an MPU4 that's faulty. And I found one board outside, which initially gave me alarm. But as you can see from the other side, is now running. This one, we've got a switch issue. So we're in the process of swapping U19 and U22. U19 purely because it looks a bit toasty. And U22 which controls switches. However, we were going to pull it off that board. Tried that board first, and that one obviously works. So we're going to go with the working board for the time being. Let me show you a couple of things while I'm here, because obviously I'm right in the middle of doing things with Magic. We had no coins and it was just completely jammed up of coins. I don't know if it's old or new. I'm working on the assumption it's old. Anyway, yeah, so we are fully running. I mean, there's barely a bulb out on it. Like, literally barely a bulb out on this. It's good because I haven't got many 10 mils, but there are one or two, but I mean, it's like literally one or two. Anyway, digressing. So, for the moment, we're turned on. For the moment, she's working, which is good news. And we're just going to see if we can get this to actually physically play in a bit, and I'll bring you back. Okay, well, it's very quiet, but that's on. I recommend you playing a machine with this like this. However, I didn't have payout either. So I've had coins stuck in the coin mech. Sorry, the table's an absolute disaster at the moment. So I've got boards here. I've got stuff everywhere. Anyway, right, so we didn't have payout. There's no battery on that yet, so that's going to have to come back out in a minute anyway. To put battery on that. We are going to, as Magic says, interrogate this board. So we are going to rip off both of those in a bit, and we're going to investigate this one because it's not complete without doing that, because I've effectively cheated by finding a board in my scrap pile, and it's the only one I could find that actually ran or appears to have run. So at the moment, yes, I've got a 48 volt fuse to put in there. The reason I had no coins, by the way, is the plug up here that goes to that little stupid shoot board. That was hanging out, so that was part of the problem. The other part of the problem was it was absolutely jammed up with 10s and 20p's. So I've made about £2 worth of 10s and 20s out of it. I have given it a bit of a clean inside the cabinet, but I've still got a few little bits to do with this to at least get this machine running, so I can then do a video of it. Coin mech's definitely on old pounds because we've tried that, so I know it's definitely on old pounds. There's a random wire hanging down here. There's a few bulbs. There's a slight issue, I don't know if you can see it there. Let me just show you with the lamp mask. So I'm going to have to get some nice strong tape just to pin that up there. And you can see it's coming away on the other side as well. Don't want to use solvents or glues. So all of the deck's coming out at some point, and I'll show you all of that. There's still plenty to do with this. I've got to win, haven't I, ultimately. Just purely because I've got it going already within the first day, albeit, like we said, tiny bit fraudulently at the moment. We're not going to settle for it not being done, are we? There's no point in me even doing a video if I just went, yeah, just put another main board in that I just happen to find that works. That defeats the object to me. So yeah, like there's obviously plenty to do. You can see it's got a 78% key in it. Yeah, we will reconvene, I guess, at some other point with this. Once I've got it on. And I can make the sounds really quiet as well, but it's probably the volume pot on there that needs turning up. Little volume pot there, and the volume pot on this there looks broke. But I'm going to get a list together, get this one up and running, nick the battery, I think, off that, and then away we go. We'll work on the second board then. So just a very, very quick update on this. So as you can see, we have got some sort of life out of it. It's working. Okay, albeit on the other board. So I'm currently about to make myself some tea. It's 8:10 and I've been on the go since 7:30 this morning. I mean, see how few light bulbs are actually out on it. It's hardly any. Anyway, I'm digressing. So make myself some tea, and then apparently I'm going to have to look at the other board. But yeah, I mean, we're on, albeit on old quids. We're on, it's running. We're, well, 100% got a fruit machine anyway now, haven't we, working, which is part number one. Rambo's been on to me because he knows what I've got, and he's going, never seen one on 10 quid before. No, you haven't, Rambo. Right, okay, so that's where we're up to. On, running, just going to leave this running for now. No need to do a great deal else at the moment. It's probably worth bringing you back. Let's just zoom in. So we've taken out U19. And it was a bit crusty under there. Obviously, it's very, very close to the damaged area. Now you can see now how clean that looks. What Magic's concerned about with this is whether that there can survive. It's a bit crusty, so whether that can survive under load or not. He's concerned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another IC onto it, but I'm going to join this on the back. Just put a little link on the back, just a link in here. I'll show you where it goes on the back of the board. It's pretty easy to show you. So you see the two little holes that are there together. They would buzz into there, so there to there, okay, across there. And like I said, he's a bit concerned about whether that works whether that will work under load. Sorry, my fingernails are dirty because I've been cleaning fucking machines and boards all day. Anyway, so that's the next thing to do, is to put another one of them in, another U22 in. What's actually happened, because I probably haven't explained this to you yet. So what's actually happened in here, you see that's just chilling in there with a board. The switches have jammed on the machine, okay? Now, we know that's pretty likely to be true because the power supply, which is actually very quiet in this machine, which is rare for an MPU4, it had a blown 48 volt, so that's the fuse I've taken out of their line. That's the payout. So what's happened is when this has got turned on, that your payout's jammed on, so solenoids have jammed on, because every switch had jammed on the machine, and the solenoids are also jammed on, and obviously to stop wrecking the board that's in it, it takes out the fuse. That's the point of a fuse, isn't it? When there's too much load going down something for it to handle, to protect the hardware, fuse goes, and that's essentially what's gone on. That's pretty much what's gone on. We also are missing two of those little buggers as well. Now Magic, while I've been doing this, has gone on Swallow Amusements, located me them, because you can still buy them, so I can replace them, because that's annoying me that they're missing. It's only two of them, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's where we're at the moment. So we've got board just chilling. Don't recommend this, by the way. Don't do this at home. Do not try this at home. But yeah, that's where we're at the moment. So I am currently swapping over parts on the other main board. Won't happen tonight. It's probably going to be tomorrow, maybe even Friday morning before we get anywhere with it. But I'm working on it because I want to get to a point where the original board runs in it, and that's kind of the plan for me now. So U19's come out, which is there, and then U22, where's that? It's somewhere in this area where your switches are, and it's horizontal, so I'm guessing it's going to be that. That's going to be U22. And if we go down, where are we? Where are we going? There, yeah, there she is, U22, so that's coming out. Mega M1's used that as well, which is handy. Although I have got another board, so I'm going to take that out and swap it. And then obviously I'm going to put a link wire in there. But that's kind of what I'm doing. Not doing any of this on camera because it's a fiddly job. And yeah, I think you all get the idea, yeah? Right, so I literally have got one job left. And my main job now is to remove the payout tray and just get to these. Now, I've been mulling this over for a couple of days. How do I secure them best? Now, the one over that side, you see how it's originally done? It was originally done with M3 tape or something like M3 double-sided tape and then stuck down to the artwork. My concern's always going to be the same thing here. If I try and connect something up to it, all that can potentially happen is I could rip artwork off. You can't use solvents as such. You use solvents like super glues and stuff like that. They just going to damage artwork straight away. So I'm gonna have to find a better solution. And I'm sort of mulling it over. I kind of just want to effectively just duct tape him back into place, but I don't know if I need to actually have something physically to press against it to just give it a bit of extra rigidity. So what I'm going to do now is get everything out so we can get to a world where I can actually see the best solution, I guess. And that's pretty much where I'm at the moment. it won't be particularly elaborate. It's just going to have to do a job. You'll never see it. So probably something along with duct tape line, I would have thought. Yeah, that's probably the shout. It's an awkward one. So next thing you'll see, I'll have this out. Really cautious about doing something fiddly that's going to... So there you go, you can see basically it's M3 taped up against the artwork originally, or taped up against the artwork. So you see pretty much what it's supposed to do. So really what I need is, it'd be great if I could get someone to come out of there, which you can't, but someone to come out of there and just sit over it there and just basically hold it for me. But again, without drilling stuff and whatever else, I'm probably struggling. I don't know if I can get something through this hole here to be able to get a bit of pressure maybe against it, or even wedge something in there that's going to just give a bit of pressure just to hold it. So I'm just going to tape. I'm just going to literally tape the top of that one up. So small, you see, it's pretty light. This is a bit more heavy duty, and then that will press that in a bit. I mean, I'm not going to do anything mega with that at all. It's just literally gonna. It's not doing any harm. When the door's shut, you're not going to see anything. So, and it won't. If I can pin it here, it's not going to go any further. So yeah, next job's to try and find a plan of action for this, I guess, and get it sorted. So Arts and Crafts James has done that with some just a small piece of black duct tape, and I've reinforced it with a couple more. And it's obviously, now as you can see, go sideways on as best I can. You can see it's right up against there. If we go around to the front, obviously we know we've got a little tiny crack. It's going to get a Cat D sticker over it, we'll never see, but we can see with nothing at the front, it's all perfect. And it'll obviously just make the colours nicer. The only thing you're going to have to do is be a little bit more careful when you're taking bulbs out to change them down there, down the line. Then the other one, obviously we're now going to have to find a way of... I want to pin it, that's what I want to do. Right, let's see what we can come up with. Right, so what I'm going to do to hold this, so I'm going to get a few of them, I'm going to tape them together, and I'm just going to wedge it underneath there. There's a little wedge, a little stopper, and that should press it in. May have to put a bit of duct tape around here and here, but yeah, it's not going to be a lot of duct tape. I'm just conscious that at some point somebody might need to get this back out again. They're going to need to remove that bolt, so I need to make it as secure as I can. But that's my plan. The wedge is in. I've just put duct tape round it to hold them all together, but we're pretty much against it there. So what I'm literally going to do now is just I'm going to put a bit of tape across here just to hold it in place. It isn't absolutely flush, but I mean it's as near as I need it. And I'm conscious of any transportation in the future and stuff like that, so you just need to be a bit careful really. I'm just protecting it more than anything. And I've just put some tape around it. I've even missed the end of the bolt. So yeah, we're good. It's in, it's holding nicely, it'll do its job. That's all it really needs to do, is do its job basically. For anyone that was interested, 160's worth of 10p's in bottom. Wonder if I find any more. Yeah, well, we're good. Happy days. And I found the other one. One of the bulbs isn't working, the other one is. The other one was sat down in here as well. So we are back together. Obviously I'm back turned on. Just going to show it you working, and then say the only other jobs really I've got to do. So what I do, glue these with super glue, just to put them back up. I'll do all the tidying up jobs. I mean, it's a nothingy job, but I'm much happier when I know I've done that sort of stuff, and it's all done really. So yeah, I mean, next thing you're going to see is me having a little play on it, I'd imagine. One thing I didn't cover off, I have actually fixed, this is the original board now, by the way. So once I'd swapped, I don't think I got as far as telling you this. So when I'd swapped U19 and U22 over and booted it back up again, it wasn't stuck in refill mode anymore, and it's fully running. So that's the board that came out of it. The other board is sat on top of the unit in the dining room. The only thing the other board doesn't do that I didn't know works, it doesn't hold battery, hence why this one's back in it rather than the other one. But yeah, we're done. I'm very happy with how it's worked out. Short of putting one little sticker on the front of it, and yeah, what more can I really say? Well pleased. And it did come with some old bin lids that are inside it still. These are some of mine. I mean, I will do a few little things, like I'll clean up these bottom panels, and I've got loads of MPU4 ones knocking about. But yeah, she looks pretty well now, doesn't she? Now she's working. Like I said, you're never going to be able to fix the fact that somebody cut the artwork and put it on a tenner. Wonder where it came from. If it's an arcade, funfair, people have said could be a funfair. But yeah, so get a board on it, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? Normally it's not too shy for boards when it's very close to its RAM reset, because it's had a battery on it for maybe £3 worth of play. Normally the first board just shoots round on it, to be fair. I'm getting a board while we're here, just for argument's sake. He says confidently. Anyone would notice I've been rewatching The Walking Dead, so you'll occasionally hear the music for it. Just had it on play in the background. It's actually alright for the first about 2 or 3 seasons. A bit like Prison Break. That was good for about the first 2 or 3. Stop it where you want, it stops wherever it wants to. I don't know if it's got any 20p's in. I'll find out in 1 min. Indeed it does. Right, there will be a gameplay video obviously coming up, but I'll wait until it's on new coins.